All right, welcome to the Thursday edition of In Transit. Now, as the school year is well underway, school bus drivers are sounding the alarm over what they say is more and more dangerous behavior on the roads, fearing that impatience and irritability of motorists could be fatal for the children they transport every day. Now, since the start of the school year, 4 students have been hit by vehicles in Quebec. With more on this, we go to Andrew Jones, who's president and owner of Autobus Beaconsfield. Andrew, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So what are you seeing out there, Andrew? What are your drivers seeing out there?
You know what? Just more of the same. A lot of carelessness by motorists and not paying attention to a big yellow school bus on the road, and certainly not paying attention to when we deploy our stop signs when we're either embarking or disembarking our students that we transport daily.
So, you know what's so interesting, Andrew, to me? Of all the things I take seriously, it's when a school bus puts out that red stop sign signal and the flashing lights. You know, I'm well aware of the demerit point situation. I'm well aware of that there's children now around. So I don't mess with that. Does it shock you, surprise you that motorists sometimes don't seem to care?
You know what? It might sound really jaded, but at this point, every one of our drivers, we have 50 drivers on the road daily at the Lester B. Pearson School Board, English Montreal, everything in the West Island here, Margaret Bourgeois. Mm-hmm. And I would say on average, our drivers encounter at least 3 to 4 incidents per day, per bus. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, because I'm often out on the road either doing inspections or doing routes myself to ensure that the kids get to and from safely to school. Yeah. And it's a mixture of everything. Either drivers will, once the stop's deployed, you might stop. They'll just keep creeping up on the bus because they see a yellow bus. They don't want to get stuck behind it. And some of the worst offenders, and as you stated, laying into the episode here, are our parents, our very own parents in school zones that go through the stop signs as kids are getting on and off the bus. And we'll honk and let them know and show them that the stops are deployed. And they'll tell us straight to our face, no, it's okay. It's just for my kid. And I know, we're laughing about it, but it's really it's irreprehensible behavior on their part, and just on everyone who's not paying attention to a school bus. It's yellow for a reason. It's to catch our attention. People pass us from oncoming traffic all the time. You'd be really surprised whether on Côte St. Luc Road or Pierrefonds Boulevard. We see it all. And
it's just, it's what we do to justify our bad behavior at times that makes me laugh, sometimes even when it has to do with our children. Andrew, I imagine from the vantage point of the driver, right? You're higher up. You have an excellent view of what's happening on the roads. Besides the bad behavior, are you seeing anything that causes the bad behavior? Like, do you see the smartphone use behind the wheel? Is it just people in a rush, or is there other things going on here?
I think it's just honestly a combination of it all. It all culminates into the fact that they're not paying attention, whether they're in their own bubble. They have somewhere to be. I've had instances where we're dropping children off where we can't cross over, for example, on a cycling lane, correct? So we have to drop off there. I've had cars pass me on the right as a child's right about to get off the steps, because there's enough space between the bus door, the bike lane, and the sidewalk for them to pass. Geez. So these clips that we see online, there was a viral clip this week of an incident right here at one of our schools in Lachine where the gentleman cut off a school crossing guard. Luckily, there were 2 police officers there that day handing out tickets, and they stopped him, and he filmed the police officer doing the intervention with him, thinking that he was in the right. And the officer explains to him exactly what he did wrong, was the crossing guard even came out in the middle to protect the students crossing. And that's someone right in front of them. And he still turned right and almost clipped the crossing guard. And argues with the police officer that had he gone straight, he'd have been okay. So,
yeah.
It's in and around school zones. It's just all the time. You always have to be alert, and you really have to think for the other driver. And on top of that, you're thinking for the students. You want their safety. We want to be able to bring their kids safely to and from school every day. That's our job. That's what we signed up for.
We're with Andrew Jones, president and owner of Autobus Beaconsfield. He's telling us what he and his team of school bus drivers are seeing this school year on Quebec roads. Andrew, I would also imagine from your vantage point, you've got an idea or two on how we should tackle this problem. Maybe you could tell our listeners what you think should be done on the enforcement side of things.
I definitely think police should be more present in and around school zones. I think, what's done in other provinces, in the Maritimes, I believe, is if you pass on a red stop sign and you're caught by a police officer, your license is suspended on the spot. And I'm all for that. And I don't think you'd meet one single school bus driver or any parent in Quebec that would be against something like that. Moving forward, it's more about people understanding that when you're behind the wheel of a vehicle, it can be used as a weapon. And we've seen that, unfortunately, already this school year. You mentioned the students already being hit. One was tragically killed. People need to pay attention around a school bus. We're transporting the most precious cargo. Our drivers are professionally trained. We're doing our absolute best out there, but we're already thinking for the 60, 70 kids on board. We can't always be thinking for every single motorist that's around the vehicle. So people need to pay attention. People need to have a bit more patience behind the wheel in general, and especially when approaching school zones, respecting the speed limits, and just overall better behavior on the road.
The mayor of Montreal has this call out to the Quebec government for 300 more photo radar in the city of Montreal, primarily around schools. What do you think of that suggestion? Should photo radar be part of the solution?
Photo radar is, you can make back money. You can't make back time, right? So that's why even when we get stopped, it's our points that always seem to matter. Photo radar is the way the laws are written up right now. It's just simply a fine. I really think it's having a bigger police presence in and around school zones. And really maybe even emphasizing more the rules and laws around school busing, stop signs, and school zones when people are trying to get their permits. I don't think there's any easy answer or any way. We're not trying to scapegoat anyone, but it's more about informing people and making sure that they're paying attention when on the road.
Would you consider, or maybe some of your drivers already do this, do you put dashboard cameras? Would you think maybe your own cameras to record some of this behavior would be helpful?
It's funny that you speak of that because there was a pilot project a few years ago in Quebec that put side cameras on school buses so that when the stop sign was deployed, the camera turned on and was able to photograph people going through the stop signs. The government was then supposed to use that information, unfortunately not to give out tickets, as was the case in other jurisdictions, but to reevaluate how dangerous an intersection is. I could tell you right now, some of our most dangerous intersections, what you would think is a dangerous intersection, are probably some of our best. And some of the ones that you would think people would pay more attention are probably our worst. So putting, I think, these cameras on the buses and maybe having to change the laws in regards to passing a school bus and how photo radars are applied, I'm 100% for it. Because again, at the end of the day, we can't control when a child gets off the bus if they're going to go left or right. We can tell them all we want, how to cross, how to go in front of the bus, look both ways before crossing. If someone wants to gun by our bus on either side, there's not much. We're kind of helpless as a driver. And, of course, the parent might even be there witnessing the whole thing too. And you can imagine how traumatic that is for everyone.
Let me just wrap up with this, Andrew, because on our text line, I think some drivers feel seen, so they're trying to deflect themselves. And I've got a couple of messages. Well, the real issue here is the cyclists, the cyclists who are not stopping. What about cyclists? How big of an issue are they?
Next to none. Next to none. It's really cars going through our stop signs. I'm out on the road at least 2 or 3 times a week, doing a school bus run or inspecting our drop-offs, making sure that they're done efficiently, that we're not holding up traffic, that, there's no one infringing on any laws. And the cyclists are, I wouldn't even say a blip on our radar. It really is motorists. It's just people not paying attention. Like I said, creeping up on our stop signs when kids are crossing because they want to get around the bus as soon as the stop goes in. Yeah. And these are things that have happened to me personally. This is not secondhand reporting. I mean, I've lived these things myself and held kids back in the bus because I'm honking as they're going through our lights. And sometimes, you know what, I'm even getting flipped off. And I'm the one honking and I'm the one trying to alert the motorists. Like, there's kids that are about to be let off. Like, you have to stop because if one goes through, then others feel that they're more entitled now to go through it as well.
Yes.
So it only takes one motorist to go through our stop signs, and then everyone else follows.
Andrew, listen, I hope our segment leads to just at least one driver slowing down today. It'll be a somewhat of a success. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for the time. Have a great one.
That's Andrew Jones right there, president and owner of Autobus Beaconsfield.